Midori joins ARTStreet Winter Contest. This segment contains my behind the scenes of my entry for ARTStreet's regular illustration contest, and the theme is Winter. It's been 3 months since my last upload for Midori Joins. I can't really explain anything about burnout, but it happens. And 2023 is really not a good year for me. I'm not going to say anything specific, but it just went downhill. Is anyone else like that? Just me? Okay. I'm trying, okay? I keep writing what I have to do every month, but I somehow ended up skipping them due to other deadlines, such as commissions or projects. I have stories to write and finish, but even though I keep including them in my list, I cannot, for the life of me, even finish one chapter per month. I mean, that's already a lot, right? Look at my Miraculous Academy. Because it took some time for me to upload the second season, fans forgot about it. But even though no one else is focusing on it, I still plan to finish it. Else, if I don't finish it, who else will? And what will happen to my other stories? I've heard from a friend of mine that she really dislikes a story if it's discontinued. And as a reader, I'd probably say the same, but I can also understand the creator's side because there are moments that you started writing something and you just felt like not finishing it. Just because. Just imagine it to be like this. You play a new game, you're so excited to play. And as time passed by, you don't have the urge to play it and jumped into a new game. You forgot to finish the previous game because you enjoy the current game you're playing. That's the kind of mood for creators or writers. There are some who leave an update and let the readers know they're going on hiatus, but there are some who just disappears and just creates a new story. Just because. What about my other stories? The reason I've been showing my OCs here and there through challenges is because I want the world to know about them and about what I plan to do next. I've mentioned again and again that what cannot be taken back was unplanned. I did explain from my previous videos before that because the category for the contest is a short story, so I had to squeeze in the chapters into just 5 chapters, which made it look rushed. A few seemed to like where it went. However, no one would even remember it much because it's only 5 episodes. So I wanted to continue the story and to tell why it went that way. My other original stories are still in the making. I'm actually scared to put it out there because of the competition. Putting my story out there is like a gamble. It could be a hit or a miss. A lot from my nationality are hitting it to the top at a very young age, and you can imagine what someone like me to feel the pressure to be their level just to be noticed. I understand that life don't do instant stuff just like our food. Instant coffee, instant noodles. Nope. Life doesn't approve of that. Except for some lucky young ones. They're like quirks from My Hero Academia. If you're born with it, you're lucky, but it also depends on the type of quirk you inherit that would dictate your life. So yes, if you're lucky to have a quirk to share to the world and you're charismatic, then your social network and everyone instantly loves you. Yay! So, story time. I've met this dude online and he is somewhat an artist. His following is big enough to support him, but he tells me that he wishes he could draw like me. I was shocked because he had the audience but he needed more experience. I could draw, but there are other better artists than me, and my following is really small compared to his. Whenever I see him post an artwork, 3 digits would like his post, while the time and effort I put through mine cannot be compared to anyone else. I would be lucky to get 2 digits, let alone 1 digit. So if you're a social and charismatic person, you could probably get and network your stuff even if you're just starting up. But I'm the opposite of that. I do not know how to network and my brand is just starting up. I remember the company I partnered with smacked me in the face one time. No, not literally of course. And told me, "Why is your sales going down? Why are the other artists doing well?" It hit me bad. They were telling the truth and at the same time, I lack support and network. I wanted to respond so bad in the email and tell them I was just starting up. I have no materials and they weren't really helpful in marketing my product just because I'm not a big time artist. But that would be just blaming them. So I swallowed my pride and walked away, hoping I could meet someone who'd support a small, unknown artist like me and start over. When my journey as a creator started in the webcomic world, it was kind of a mess because instead of uploading my long series to be my first ever series, I uploaded a 4,1 or the daily life kind of comic. I told myself to finish it sooner because I was having a burnout of what to share to everyone, especially because I don't have the talent to make light of everything that's happening to my life. I mean, I did try, but they sounded so corny. Imagine me roasting myself? Well, I'm already used getting roasted by my haters, so nothing new there. Oh, I got haters? Yes, I think there are a lot compared to fans even though I'm not even at the top yet. Weird, right? Anyway, I kind of regretted uploading Midori Feels because it wasn't how I imagined it to be. But somehow creating it made me focus more on my persona and brand for myself. Also, it became my outlet when I was so broken, so I guess it turned out okay. As a reader, I'm not pressured to be anything. I can comment and look forward to the next update. I would defend the creators time to time when I feel like they needed someone to be on their side. Of course, I wouldn't reveal myself as a fellow creator, but just as a reader. Examples were when the hiatus take a long time and the creators still didn't give the readers an update or were on silent mode. I would leave a comment as a reminder that creators are also human beings and they have their own lives to deal with. As a reader, I or anyone else can't just demand for them to finish what they did just because we feel like they owe us that. Although I am on the reader's side on this one, I do prefer that I get at least an update from the creator that they would no longer be continuing the said comic due to some reasons. Just like in relationships, readers need closure what happened to their favorite characters. Just one announcement is okay. There are some loyal fans out there who are more understanding than your own family or friends. Also, I wouldn't go complaining if an episode is shorter than the usual, as I know how long it takes to do all that. Yet, I haven't even uploaded my long series yet, but I know the process takes time. And would leave a heart instead and go defensive in the comments to be thankful that the creator has even uploaded.
Early access of Midori joins is available in My Coffee. Just go to coffee.com/ladymidori and go to my tip jar. You can choose two options. One is to give a one-time payment and two is to choose monthly subscription for me to continue making contents like this.
Also, a huge shout out to Lord Congelo. If you're watching this, please remember to message me which fan art you purchase in my shop. Else, if I still don't get any message from you, I'll send you a random fan art if that's okay with you. Whenever I see some hidden gems, even if it's in Daily Pass, and as long as the 3 final episodes aren't unlocked, then I would go ahead and support the webcomic. I would usually base a webcomic based on the art style and the story. If it's something so repetitive and similar to other webcomic like getting reincarnated or isekai'd, then I'd skip it immediately unless there was some sort of twist. I can remember ranting before about a webcomic I saw that stole the artwork of another creator and changed the title, name of the characters, and the like. I won't mention who this is, but the original creator has a style that gives you a fuzzy feeling whenever you see their art. And so this young fake creator steals their art and makes it their own. I can see other readers pointing out that this copycat stole the art of the OG creator, so I believed I wasn't the only one who noticed it. Turns out, anyone who calls them out, they block it in their comment section and move forward with their stolen art. See, this is why not all platforms are safe. They can't even see some very young people trying so hard to be a creator, even though they are stealing content. And now that AI is just at the tip of everyone's fingertips, they can even fake videos and audios. So I reached out to the OG creator and my message wasn't seen, so I just let it be. Probably because I was a nobody and we're not even friends, so my message was probably in the spam folder or in the message request. After the copycat got multiple readers calling them out, the copycat changed the style of the art so that it wouldn't be similar to the OG characters of another webcomic. They cut the character's hair. Can you believe that? I mean, the art is giving trace. No disrespect, as I also trace to practice my art. But literally, this copycat traced the OG characters of another webcomic and made it their own. How frustrating is that? I'm not even the creator, but I was so mad at this copycat. Oh, and don't get me started with tracing, because I've seen a lot of reposts of redrawing characters by changing their outfit or changing their hairstyle, their whole look, and they end up worse. I've seen shorts or reels like that and it grosses me out. I don't even know what they're trying in there. It's probably just for engagement because somehow I stayed in to look what would the OG look like in their style. But all I see is just the characters getting sexualized or having extensions. What they're doing is not a draw this in my style, but change the character's look and notice me senpai vibes. What? I mean, I'll respect them if they don't draw over the art itself and draw them from the start, as in from the draft to the finished product. It's how a redraw is supposed to be. I mean, if you're going to animate something, of course you'd have to trace your original art, but that's different. Totally different. We're going off topic and I'm becoming a negative Nancy, so let's focus more on the topic at hand. So I researched a pose I was aiming for, my entry for this contest, and I decided to draw Cassie and Kuro from my webcomic What Cannot Be Taken Back to represent how I see winter. See, we only have two seasons in our country, summer and rainy season. Similar to Cassie's world, which does not have winter season, and she did not get to experience it due to some circumstances, so she and Kuro dreamt of winter. Whenever Burr months come, we call Burr month as it is because once the months that end with the letters B, E, R arrives, countdown to Christmas starts, along with the holiday displays. The season changes. Rainy season is around the corner, and by the time it's December, it'll be cold as ice. As for the sequel for What Cannot Be Taken Back, I was supposed to do them by October 2023. But as I mentioned, life happens so it got delayed again and again. I'm still working on polishing the backstory for each of the characters, and I wanted to connect it to the short story I originally made. Just make sure to prepare your tissues when I made a return because the lives of the three Grim Reapers isn't filled with rainbows and unicorns. Since we're now talking about stories, I'm writing 3 stories at the moment. One fan art which is Miraculous Academy, and 2 originals, the sequel for What Cannot Be Taken Back and the Aurelius. I really need to work on each of them and that's what's really tricky. Besides the challenge of continuing the series, I have to draw them all by myself. And to be honest, I still lack the abilities to draw poses such as fighting scenes and backgrounds. I did try applying when famous creators hire for an assistant, but now I kind of held back, knowing I still have a lot to learn. I wasn't confident in my abilities just yet, but I've seen improvement with myself whenever I do a redraw. I've appreciated myself more through that. So whether you're an artist or not, do not compare yourself with other artists. Do not steal and claim what other artists work so hard on just to get the attention that they deserve. Do not use AI just to show that you made this. Instead, work on it. If you literally don't have the talent, for sure, you have a talent for something else. You just can't see it yet. It's easier said than done, right? Of course, Someone told me I have a talent, but I cannot see that because what I see is everyone around me who is better than me. So I learned to appreciate myself once I started to have clients who also appreciated my work.
Moving back to my drawing, how I envision this is so different from the outcome. You probably noticed I kept changing something in the middle from the draft to the line art up to the coloring stage. I changed them into sleeping positions even though Cassie is literally holding her coffee, so you could imagine her to be just daydreaming with her eyes closed. And don't worry about Kuro getting hurt with the coffee. It won't hurt him. If you want to know why, it'll be in the sequel. I've actually delayed drawing my entry as the deadline approaches because of my flu. You'd notice my voice is a bit hoarse in this episode, so apologies about that. Also, joining in the contest hosted by Medibang ARTStreet allows me to be original and make my OCs shine more. They're very strict with the use of fan art and AI, so I appreciate them for doing that. Even though they did make me delete my Miraculous Academy fan comic because Zag is really strict with the copyright. So my fan comic is just available at the selected platforms.
Whenever I use Medibang, I take whatever the brushes and templates I use from other applications for granted because I have been so dependent on them. I would have appreciated it if the brushes are easy to download from Medibang. Don't get me wrong, I've downloaded some in their website, but it's not as accessible as the other application I'm mostly using, or there are background templates to use. This is a reminder that I really need to work on my drawing skills. Thank you for staying until the end. And here's the final artwork for my entry in this contest. You probably have seen this in my social media. So, what is your favorite season in your country? Why is it your favorite? Share it to me in the comments below. Do you have a contest or challenge you host or hosted by someone you know? Feel free to comment them below. See you in the next video.